Waiting.
And
we're live. There we go. All right. So this week, the enemy of your enemy isn't always your friend. Sometimes you've just got two enemies. It's Maul, Shadow Lord, episodes 5 and 6 this week on your Star Wars safe space. And we've got company yet again. It's going to be a good show. Stick around. That intro never, ever gets old. I absolutely love it. Hey there, Star Warriors. Welcome to Star Wars Safe Space, your non-toxic, low-sodium Star Wars show that doesn't make you feel bad for not knowing that the Inquisitors were a specialized group of fallen Jedi and Padawans turned to the dark side, specifically to hunt down Jedi. What a bunch of jerks. Trauma. I can't call them jerks. It's not all their fault. Not entirely. So whether you're a hardcore fan or just a little Swarzy curious, this is your Star Wars Safe Space. We are the Circle of Nerds, and we do absolutely love Star Wars, even if we don't always like it. So let's meet this crazy Circle of Nerds, shall we? Joining us again, dangerously approaching cast member status, it is the Astrology Jedi. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. I'm Thalia, the Astrology Jedi. Very nice to be here again. Third week in a row, so it's getting a little serious at this point.
It's getting a little serious. This is like we might have to print you out a badge to get in and a little name tag, and you might start needing your own merch. So
yeah, might be getting on like first name basis with security here. So
our security guards they're terrible. They're good. They're good folks, but man, no, none of us are on first name basis. Those they're just oof. And pilot of the infamous Parma Flyer, it's Crash.
Hey everybody, we got some drama building up on this show, so let's knock those S-foils and get at it.
Always drama in the Star Wars fandom. No, say it ain't so. And hailing from parts unknown, it's T to the Oni, our holocron master.
Welcome back to Galaxy, everybody. The Imperials are officially landed, so let's see what we got in store.
Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a heavy one. So tonight we're talking about Maul, Shadow Lord, episodes 5 and 6. And this is where things have taken yet another turn. I feel like every episode we're getting another left turn, and it's been such a fun ride so far. So not only is this episode not just about Maul manipulating people, now the Empire's here. So now we've thrown another spanner into the mix. Is it a monkey spanner? It wouldn't be a monkey wrench. They just have spanners, hydro spanners. Is that what Han called it?
Yeah.
Anyway, some tool has been thrown in to the mix, like we say monkey. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay. So now there's Inquisitors, and now we have multiple questions. It's not just about who's loyal to who. It's who do you choose when every other option is bad at this point, because it's like ugh. That's why we're talking about, the enemy of your enemy, and Jedi Master Splinter, he even said that. He said the Empire may be our common enemy, but that does not make Maul our ally. Wise words from Jedi Master Splinter. I know that's not his name, but I don't care. Watching him fight in these 2 episodes, he is Splinter. I don't care what the production team tells me. He's fucking Jedi Master Splinter.
I kind of like Uncle Docky, though. That's kind of
he's cute and adorable, and it's sweet. Oh, Uncle Docky. I want a plushie. I want an Uncle Docky plushie. I think that would be cool. But I'm sorry if they tell us that he was not in some way based off of Splinter. They're lying. They are absolutely lying. So, and making a special guest appearance, it's young Anakin.
Yeah, he heard me talking and he came running. So here he is.
He is a diva.
He's crazy.
Just on a side note, our 5th member is currently en route. He might be joining us midway through the show. We'll see.
Okay. So a couple of things to think about, that I was looking at as I was watching these episodes, is that it's about alignment. These couple of chapters, because no one gets to sit on the sideline anymore. Whenever you throw the Empire into the mix, you really, really do have to start picking sides, and we see that as, Devon and Uncle Docky were fighting ICE agents. I mean, the Empire, we see, and even with Maul, with the Inquisitor, it's like sides and lines are being drawn. And the Imperial Lieutenant, just that guy. Like, some Imperial officers are cool, but this guy is just a douchebag, like all the way around. Like,
you got to give it to the animation department. They really have captured the essence of how sleazy the Imperial officer corps is.
they gave him a little rosacea, some freckles.
The skin issues are wild.
Right?
Like, who in big dermatology, big Botox, big retinol is out there funding Star Wars to develop a character that has so many skin issues? Like, I wanted to pause the episode and like go grab my sunscreen and then come back. It's so bad. I've never seen that before with the character, which was actually, it was fun to see.
Yeah, everybody that we've ever seen, even Jabba's skin is actually well moisturized, and he's got some bumps and things, but that's just is a species thing. But yeah, this guy, it's like, come on, don't tell me that Imperial healthcare doesn't can't take care of all that for you.
It's bad.
So it's
the dark side corrupts everything, including your pores.
Including your pores. Yeah. Yikes. All right. So before we dive in, does anybody have anything? Crash, I know there's something that we're going to be talking about, because we're going to start something. We're going to start a little, Star Wars After Dark, a little Swarzy After Dark, SafeSpace After Dark. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but we'll figure it out. So we've got our Patreon account back up and running. I don't really want to plug that right now. If you want to check it out. I'll put a link somewhere, maybe, if I remember. And we're going to do, because we had a great conversation last week. The three of us, Tony unfortunately was not able to make it. Darth Real Life was kicking him in the soft stuff. But now the four of us are back, and that's cool. But we had a great conversation, and it was like after the show, and I was like, why the fuck did we not record this? Because that was like, it was really good. We were just kind of like off the rails, just having a good time.
Just more reason for you guys out there to get involved with our Swarzy Curious, and once we get this Patreon thing kind of tied into that, we've got a lot of stuff in the works besides that. But yeah, this is the great thing about a safe space like this, is that you get to have these really deep conversations. I was, not to get sidetracked from the show, but our Facebook page has been lit up this week about everything from The Acolyte is trending on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I posted something about box office numbers adjusted for inflation, which started a holy war in the comments section. Because everybody, and the ones moving the goalposts, because the original trilogy just had to have not just a lead, but it had to be like an enormous lead. The numbers aren't right. Everybody can fudge numbers to fit their own narrative, and a lot of things where I was trying to be as reasonable about before I posted this thing, because I was like, okay, this is fascinating. That most of all the movies except for Solo, which we know got sabotaged by the Phantom Menace in its theatrical run. Yeah. Everybody else kind of had a very similar box office haul their first time out. Now, the original trilogy had the benefit of multiple re-releases and special editions and whatnot.
And also with the original trilogy, it was something new. The world had never seen anything like that. Nothing like that. I mean, they literally invented technology to create that movie. I mean, yes, it was based off of Akira Kurosawa films and Flash Gordon serials and all these things, and it had a foundation of that. But we'd never seen all these things put together. And George, being the wizard that he is, he really had foreseen the marketing and the merchandising. He's like yogurt, merchandising, where the real money of the film is made. And he saw that. He's like Palpatine. He foresaw this evil of merchandising. And he rolled, the toys came out before the movie even hit.
And we were talking before the show. Now it's popcorn buckets and sippy cut, stuff to bring you to the movie theater,
right,
to boost those box office numbers. It's a whole cycle of consuming. And the thing I found most interesting was The Force Awakens actually did the best in its initial run.
Of course,
now, 20 years from now, if we give them multiple releases in one, they might do 2-3 billion like A New Hope did, total number. But in just their first run, I mean, it's all of the Star Wars are pretty much on the same level. Is every generation's found that, like we keep saying, every generation is their Star Wars.
Yes.
And the survey I posted, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it really showed, and the reason I'm going to stick by it, and the Band Blaster was working overtime this week, trust me, but is that it just shows that every generation has their own Star Wars, and if you can embrace that, even if it's not your, trilogy, your peak time of being of Star Wars, that's fine.
It doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be. Like you said, to your point, The Force Awakens, it did very well because you had the new generation, but then you had the original trilogy folks. They wanted to watch it too. So it's like, so many people complained about it because they were like, they basically just redid A New Hope.
Well, that's what you asked for 30 years.
Right. But it's like, I don't want to say that they redid it, but they created familiar bridges for us.
Yeah.
If it was a completely different thing, then original trilogy fans would have felt alienated. And then they would have been like, this is definitely not my Star Wars, but this is still our Star Wars.
Right.
This might, like the sequels, they're not my Star Wars, but they're our Star Wars. It's still, you know what I mean? It's like the OT is mine. But then I can still enjoy everything else, including the Accolade, which I love. Anyway, but that's a little teaser of what we're going to be talking about in the Safe Space After Dark, right?
Yep.
Right.
That is, and in particular, I did a video while during our extended hiatus about Andor. So I'm going to talk more about the streaming side of it, but we'll bring in some new information about these new box office numbers and stuff like that. It'll be a little enhanced version of that video you guys saw over the holidays.
Okay. All right. So let's dive in. We've got a few talks to talk about tonight. But first I want to do, our little gut check here and see where everyone's head was at. Like if there were any certain moments that really popped out and were kind of key moments for you. Like for me, it was Rook, because I'm starting to see her loyalty potentially falter, but then at the same time, she was keeping those other Mandos in check. But you can see that maybe she might be shifting because she's going to go where the wind blows. But then other people online are saying, well, she might be the armorer. I don't buy that, but maybe. I mean, who knows? That seems cheap to me. That seems like a really cheap move. But then again, so did Lawson's wife being an Imperial officer or working for the Empire. That seemed like a very cheap cliche type thing. But so if there's any standout moments, Thalia, what about you? Anything that jumped out at you?
Lieutenant Blake's skin care routine, that really attacked me. But yes, Rook, every time we saw her, they, at least in my opinion, they framed her to be irritating in these 2 episodes. Like she was showing up in it was irritating to the viewer. Like she interrupted Maul's flow in episode 5. Like incredible. It's episode 5, correct? Right, not 6? We haven't seen 6 yet.
No, it's not 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
Oh, 6. Okay, I'm sorry, 6. All right. So in the beginning of that episode, which incredible opening with him, she kind of like interrupts it, and I felt irritated. I was like, get out, like stop. You're interrupting this. And then we also see her when she sort of interrupts while he's getting his knee repaired, which is also like he's irritated. So I don't know.
What do you want?
Yeah. They're starting, I think, to make her look irritating, which is, I think, different than we had seen her. So that kind of jumped out to me. Lawson, look, I ripped on him on TikTok earlier this week. I wanted to make a TikTok talking about kind of the astrology of all the different characters, what I think so far, and I just went in on how much I don't think Lawson is a good guy.
Has your opinion changed?
No.
No? Okay.
But I don't know.
You seem conflicted.
Riley made a weird comment about knowing Rena. Remember, he's like, "Oh, this is someone like my dad has talked about. Like they work together supposedly." So I was like, "Okay, Riley even knows the dad is like kind of." So that stuck out to me too. I was like, "Thank God I'm not like being gaslit." Like Riley agrees with me. There's something weird going on here. And then the other thing that stuck out to me, I never would disagree with anyone if they were going to be like, Maul is super hot, right? I would never disagree. I'd be like, all right, I see it. After these 2 episodes, I'm fully on board. he is
Really?
hot. Like hot. Like he is up there with Poe Dameron, in my opinion. He jumped
Whoa.
Shots fired.
levels this week.
Hold on. Pause.
Incredibly hot.
Pause. So I'm not. Wait. You invoked the name of Poe, who is our universal galactic boyfriend, who arguably may have unseated Obi-Wan as the galactic boyfriend. Now I feel like Obi-Wan's more of the galactic big brother, and Poe is our guy. So yes, I mean, Maul's always been, kind of a sexy dude, and this time he's got his shirt open, he's showing off those tattoos. But I'm gonna ask you to defend. That's a hot take.
I know.
Please defend.
When he shows up on the train to defend Devon, I was like, actually, this is like the hottest thing I've ever seen done. Like, he shows up out of nowhere. I know there's a slight cut scene in the shadows where I think you can actually see him jump on the train. I haven't watched in a dark enough environment yet to see it, but allegedly you can see it. But he just shows up and he kind of saves the day. I don't know. I was like, I see it. I was like, this is.
Are you in I can fix him mode yet, or is he still like?
I think he's. No, I think we need to agree with him. Anyone who thinks Maul needs fixing, no. I think you need to be fixed. I think he's. I don't.
So take him as he is now at this point, huh?
Yeah,
he is a walking red flag. You know that, like literally and figurative. He is a walking red flag.
I don't know. Is he?
But so, all right, so you thought Lawson. You think Lawson's hot?
Danger.
Lawson's hot, but he's a lech. So Lawson is definitely off the table because he can't be trusted.
Look, if Lawson ever texts me and was like, "Hey, want to hang out?" I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, that sounds good." But I mean, I don't. Again, I wasn't. It sounds silly to say, but yeah, that's honestly what jumped out at me from these two episodes. First of all, this is peak Star Wars. I'm surprised to be saying that. That jumped out at me. But also, it's wow, Maul is really, really, really hot. Really hot.
And you're definitely not alone in that. You are definitely not alone in that. There are so many people.
I'm late to the party. That's what I realized. I'm late.
You are.
I get it.
There was a girl that would hang out with us. She was a friend of our group. She was one of the circle with us. She joined us early on when we were living in Germany. She was crushing so hard on Maul that she cosplayed him. And when I tell you that she cosplayed him to the T, I mean, she shaved her head.
Wow.
She had a good head shape, so it worked for her, but she shaved her head, put the bald cap on, put the horn. I mean, she went hard, screen accurate. I mean, she taped down, her chest to, but she was screen accurate because she found him so attractive. She'd been crushing on him since the Phantom Menace. And, he does have that charisma. He gives off the vibe, but damn, Thalia, he got you.
He did. I'm fully on the Maul train. And I apologize to all the Maul girlies out there. I never thought it was weird, but I am wrong for not getting on the train with you earlier. So
I would have, I could have supported you in that argument, but again, when you say that he's hotter than Poe.
No, not he's up there. He's up there.
Oh, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there. But I just didn't think they would ever come close. And now suddenly I'm like, wow.
Can Keeper of the Holocron or Crash, can one of y'all get a picture of Poe? I mean, we're seeing Marrok and Maul here. Can someone please deliver a picture of Poe, please?
Tony, you do that because I want to cover one quick point before we go back to that slide of Maul.
That's the hottest take we've ever had on this show, by the way.
The thing I liked about this episode and this part of the arc was this opening scene of Maul's kata training.
Oh yeah.
I wish we could play the video of it because it was beautiful and savage and everything you think about when you think about Darth Maul. And I watched it going, this dude's been doing this routine, this training kata his entire life. And having seen Ray Park grab a stick and do a little demonstration for fans, we were in line at Celebration 2 for Ray, and he was coming to his booth, and he grabs a broom handle and just does the twirling and stuff that you see him do in the movie, and the line went nuts because that was just, it was Maul, it was Ray, it was Maul, and for them to do this scene in animation was just beautiful, and I loved it. And it was because we see Jedi training all the time, and how they train in the Acolyte. We saw them, how they teach the younglings saber technique, and they coach them. I would love to see how a Sith teaches their apprentice this stuff, and the passive aggressiveness. It's not done out of love. It's done out.
Oh, no, it's not a kind teaching at all.
No.
And can we like give thanks and praise to the animation department, because
they're killing it.
Because from what I understand, I may be wrong on this, they did not use motion capture at all for this entire series. No mocap. So this was them.
But they used video reference of people who on staff who are martial arts trained.
Right.
And this scene in particular showed it. This was very Crouching Tiger. Anybody's been into anime or any kind of martial arts before.
Come on, Tony.
What are you doing?
Hey,
All right.
if we're gonna go animated versus animated, I think this is fair.
Now, you know what? All right. So for all of our listener, you have to watch it on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, watch it on YouTube. But so Tony just grabbed this, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but
yeah, I don't. This is a weird one.
We'll be nice and call it fan art.
It's fan art. It's fan art of Poe Dameron. So I don't know. All right. So it's making me feel some things that I don't know if I'm ready to acknowledge just yet. But Tony, you just went hard on that, and I don't know how to feel about it now. So,
for lack of a better term,
my hottest Poe moment is when he's dressed up in basically like his Indiana Jones outfit, his little desert outfit. He's got the little scarf on, his sleeves are rolled up. He's looking like, like he's gonna go rob a temple somewhere. Woo! Goodness gracious, boy!
Is it getting warm in here, Tony? Is the AC on?
Grab a little bit of my beverage here.
So I have a theory when it comes to the Maul.
Yes, sir.
Passion.
Speak on it.
And this goes back a while, but I wish I could give credit to the original person that did this, but I don't have it handy right now. There's a guy who's does a TikTok, and he's giving a monologue, and basically he's supposed to be the bad guy, and he's talking to the father of the woman that he's in love with, and the father's like, I worry that you're not a good man. He goes, you don't want me to be a good man. A good man will sacrifice the woman he loves to save the world. I will watch it burn just to keep her safe. And when you see Maul going in like that, protecting Devon, all of a sudden actually, okay, that's kind of hot.
But then we do have to ask the question, though. I mean, there's those ulterior motives.
Oh, of course, there's ulterior motives for him, but that's not important in the moments.
But on
and even Rook's getting frustrated, like when she realized he was going to go to save her from the Imperial. She's like, we're being, the Empire is closing in. We're going to get found out, and you want to go save a Jedi? Like, she tried to kill you, and Maul's like, yeah, it was an admiral of the Like, he was impressed with her.
Yeah, he was, and that's like, and speaking of that with Rook too, especially the two unnamed Mandalorians. The one dude, he's now unofficially my spirit animal, because he just feels like, as a veteran Army guy and government employee, it's like, they're giving off like military government worker vibes. And the one dude, when he was like, Rook's like, the Empire's here, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, I can handle the risk. I'm okay with the risk as long as the credits keep flowing. And I'm like, oh, that's my boy right there. Okay. The other guy was getting ready to cut and run. He's like, the Empire's here. Oh no, let's run. But no, my boy, he served. He served. That's a veteran right there. He's like, it's the Empire. Fuck it. Who cares? As long as the credits are good, I'm sticking around. So I hope we get to know them. I hope they're not just, just nameless, Mando, henchman 1, Mando henchman 2 or whatever. Hopefully we get to, at least that guy. The other dude, yeah, he can kick sand. I don't like him anymore. But so since we're already on this tram moment, let's dive into that a little bit. So one thing I thought was interesting, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but there was this like long, almost uncomfortably long pause after like Devon and Maul, after the battle's over. Devon and Maul kind of like make eye contact, and there's a bit of a, and he's looking at her, and as he's looking at her, we get this really cool shot from kind of below him, and the lights in the tunnel are rushing past. It's almost giving like this weird hypnotic effect, and I don't know if that was done on purpose, and I think that might be what got Thalia. I'm thinking there was some like weird dark side hypnosis happening, and it just was like snap out of it, girl. Snap out of it.
Could be. It worked. It worked.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So in the tram sequence, we see Devon, of course, separate the cars, leaves Marrok behind, ends up face to face with Maul, and she has that moment to take the shot. He looks at her and disengages his lightsaber, turns his back and walks away. So in that moment, he's showing her that he trusts her not to stab him in the back. But at the same time, he knows for the most part, Jedi won't do that. But then if she does do that, she's one step closer to the dark side. So either way, I mean, for him, it's a win-win and potentially a loss for her. So she doesn't take it. And so this is just like another pivot. She doesn't choose Maul. She just didn't choose against him, if that makes sense. So, and for Maul, was that mercy? Or for her, was it mercy? Was it doubt? What are your thoughts on this? Because that was a really, in my opinion, that was a very pivotal moment especially for Devon at that point. So Thalia, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna let Crash or Tony
okay,
start this, and then I'm gonna weigh in after, because
All right.
maybe I'm still under the hypnosis effect, because I'm just like, why did she even bother? So yeah.
All right. Crash, what you got?
Well, I think for Maul, he's testing her. He's again, the temptation's out there. He knows she's frustrated living on the run. He just came to her rescue against Marrok, and I got more on him in a bit. But he is leaving breadcrumbs for her to follow, and we see that later when she's talking to Uncle Daki about, can they trust him as an ally against the Empire, and he was emphatically like, no, of course we can't trust this guy.
Right.
We're better off on our own. He's still trying to like, we're better off on our own. We can evade the Empire after we again smacked up a whole bunch of stormtroopers in the train station, got our picture taken on every security camera.
Yeah, you're definitely
You're on the radar now, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for her, it's okay. It's not the moment of choosing yet, but I think he's tempting her. He's leaving the door open to say, look, join me or live on the run.
Yeah, and he's kind of saying it without saying it, and that's a great point, Crash, because we do see earlier where she's talking with Uncle Daki, and she's like, is this our life? Is this what and she's young, she's a girl, she has, even though that she was raised, kind of isolated, there's still this promise for a youngster of adventure, when you're that age and you're a Jedi. I mean, holy shit, we're going to see the galaxy and get into adventures, and it's going to be awesome. I've grown up hearing about all these tales of Jedi past, and, they've helped the galaxy. They've been these forces for good and adventure. And now it's like she's staring down the barrel of this life of squalor, living hand to mouth. And then we have this fella, this tattooed bad boy, reaching out a hand, a way out of that gutter, so to speak. So it's and at least she's being honest with Docky too. She said, I'm conflicted, and that was a big thing. That's a big thing to admit. So Tony, what are your thoughts?
So first off, and obviously, we know that he's got his little spy bot hacking into the Imperial, so like he knows where they're going to be.
Spy bot's so cool.
But, and I felt this going in that like Maul being there was a choice, but it's also in a way a prediction. Like this is like we've talked about briefly, whether or not how much of a threat the Empire is to Maul. I think to a certain degree he wouldn't admit this to Rook or to anyone of his other crew, but I think he planned on them coming.
Oh.
I think he knew this was coming because this is what's going to push her towards him.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, like him turning his back on her, giving her the opportunity, is him knowing she's not going to do it. Not just because she's a Jedi and Jedi aren't going to do that, but also because what other choice does she have?
Right.
Like her and Docky, like we're literally going, hey, we're going to have to rely on friends. And he's like, we only have fucking one. And now that one is either dead or, is equally an enemy of the Empire. Like if they have any chance of getting off of this planet, it's going to be by aligning with Maul. Whether or not that's going to be a permanent alignment is a separate matter, but at the very least, in the short term, they're going to have to work together.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point too. Like, that is the only friend that those Jedi have at the moment.
Yeah. And again, not necessarily a friend, but the enemy of my enemy.
Right. Yeah. Right. Hey,
and by the way, again, they've got one person. He's got a whole crew of people that are there. He's got an entire syndicate, an entire underground that he can rely on to a certain degree to help him out right now.
Right.
They've got nothing but him.
That's a good point. So, and that's what we talked about earlier. It's like, how do you determine your loyalty when there are no options? There are no good options, at this point. There's just, at what point does survival supersede loyalty? And I think a lot of people are starting to feel that at the moment. So joining us again, welcome, it's Dylan from Blurry Films. Welcome back.
Hey there. Thank you for having me back again.
Of course. So we're talking about 5 and 6 this week.
Awesome.
Of Maul Shadow Lord. So what we're talking about right now, we were just talking a little bit about
Talia's obsession with Darth Maul and Tony's obsession with Poe Dameron, but
well, Darth Maul is understandable. He's very unconventionally attractive, but that's just me. I don't know.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I've also brought a drink with me this time, so.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm ready for all things now.
All right, so we're all
prepared.
Yeah.
All right. So, Thalia, do you want to weigh in? Do you have time to mull it over a little bit?
The one thing I do want to point out, sorry, it's sort of unrelated, but it's during the scene of the two of them together. Did you notice Devon kept rolling her injured arm?
Yes.
That was giving me very strong throwbacks to episode 7, where Kylo is beating his wounded chest and having the blood. And I know that that's a thing you do to feel anger and kind of make you a stronger Sith, a stronger fighter, all that. And I was like, is that what she's doing? Is she not even realizing that she's doing it? And she does get a little bit more aggressive as she's fighting with Marrok. I just, the rolling of the injured wrist was really interesting to me. Yeah. But
and I agree. And that's something that the animators, again, didn't have to do. But I think that there's also maybe because she's doing it while she's around Maul. So I think that's
as she's fighting Marrok too, as she's trying to sort that out, because that's not easy.
No,
he puts up a pretty good fight, by the way.
and
He does.
she puts up a great for being a Padawan. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really getting Ahsoka vibes from her. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a badass. I fingers crossed that she makes it, but I mean, it's just, I did notice that. I think it's a really nice, like, physical indicator and connection to her conflict, you know, because she is so conflicted right now. It's like, you know what? I sustained this injury, but Maul helped me. Maul helped to heal me when Daki wasn't able to. And Maul's able to provide for me when Daki wouldn't even let me, you know, steal a little piece of fruit, you know. And so on that, I have a problem with the Jedi. I've always had a problem with the Jedi. And
Here we go.
All right, like, it's well documented. I have a problem with the Jedi anyway. But so it's just, I know the argument, I get it, but the way that they cherry pick when they can use their powers and what's morally correct and what's ethical and what's not, like, for Daki to not let her use the Force to swipe a couple of, a couple pieces of fruit to help sustain their life, while he can go ahead and, like, invade someone's mind so they can escape the law. I mean, that's invasive. And of course they're chopping motherfuckers in half too. They're committing acts of murder, but we're okay. We're conditioned to be okay with these murders because it's ICE. I mean, it's the Empire. So we're okay with that. We're conditioned to, be okay with this. And they are the good guys. And I'm not taking that away from them. But it's just like sometimes, I think, the Jedi Masters could maybe loosen up just a little bit. Just because you steal a couple of pally fruits doesn't mean that it's going to put you on the path to the dark side. It just means your stomach's not going to growl, which means that the stormtroopers aren't going to hear you and then arrest you.
Well, if I can insert something in that,
you do.
What I think all of that kind of builds towards is it kind of showcases, more of the difference between the masters' personal discipline versus their Padawans' personal discipline, where it's easy for the master to say, tough it out, you're going to be hungry for a little bit, but for the Padawan who hasn't achieved that kind of level of discipline yet, it adds, I think, to that strain for Devon personally, because I'm certain for the Jedi who survive Order 66, these are people who had everything virtually paid for through the government, through the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
They didn't actually have to starve when they were out and about, and now they're in an environment where they don't have just a blank check to cash in at any time for their needs. And you've basically got Devon, who's now not used to being in these circumstances of, I have to suffer a little bit. I have to squalor and squander in this new life that is very, a lot more difficult than what it used to be in the Jedi Order. And now I have a master that's telling me, you got to tough it up. You gotta suck it up and deal with it. Meanwhile, you have Maul who's telling her, like, you actually don't have to do that because the order has changed. The way things are done have changed, and you can adapt your values to better suit your needs in this new world. And I feel like that's sort of why they're doing the way they're doing things with Devon's master and her relationship now with Maul. That's starting to grow because she's starting to see that difference in, like, the way things were. It's sort of like, she's comparing, what her master's values of things, and it's not really yielding any results. Meanwhile, Maul is gathering all these people together. He's building this entire organization. He's clearly not starving or suffering like she is. And he's working towards an actual goal, while her master's sort of like, we're just going to keep in the background. We're going to keep quiet. And I'm sure for someone who's young and wants to, fulfill her duties as a Jedi, that's probably a very frustrating thing to be like
Sure.
being told to sit on your hands essentially, while Maul's like, nah, let's.
And she even says, she said, you know, it feels like we're wasting our gifts.
Yeah.
You know, she said like, we're wasting our gifts. And that's a very interesting point. And you made me think about what's the little gangster's name? I can't remember his name. The little
tiny guy.
What's the name? Vario. Yeah. I caught something else. It seems like Vario, right? Yeah. Vario and Devon are kind of on parallel situations here. So he's seeing behind the curtain. Vario's behind the curtain. So Dylan, like you said, you know, Maul comes out and he's like, I can offer you all of this. You don't have to starve on the street anymore. But Vario's behind the curtain and he was like, so we're still living in a sewer. It's all dark and damp. And I don't know. I mean, you know, what else? What am I going to get mine? And, you know, Maul's like, well, you have your life. So there's that. So he's kind of he's seen the world, obviously. He's seen the galaxy. So he's obviously more aware of things than Devon is. But it's interesting that this is not a grass is greener situation. Not for him anyway. But Devon thinks that it potentially could be. So, and I think that creates a very interesting bit of conflict as well.
For sure.
So I'm looking forward to seeing, honestly, I hope that the two of them get together. I would like to see Vario and Devon have an adventure, a little buddy comedy road trip, the two of them, because I would pay money to see that in the theaters.
I kind of view that sort of similar to, if you guys are familiar with Star Trek. I mean, I'm not as fluent with it. I did watch a bit of it growing up, but that what you just described sort of made me think of this episode between a Ferengi and a Vulcan, and it's sort of like, you know, the Vulcan's trying to think of things logically and think of things, you know, by the rules, by the book. And meanwhile, the Ferengi's like, no, wait a minute. You got to think of things more tactically than that. And, you know,
it's all about that
latinum
at the end of the day.
The way he explains things to her, you see it like dawn on her face, like, oh, that is actually logical and kind of weirdly brilliant for someone who's clearly kind of a sleazy dude. So I would like to see that kind of dynamic.
I hope that they meet, and I hope we do see something, because I feel bad for her. She's really going through it right now, you know, because she's hurt. I don't even want to say it's her loyalties that are being tested. I think it's the very foundation of her reality and her identity. Like, all of these things are being tested and shaken to the core. Crash, you got something?
I was going to stick up for Docky a little bit when he was talking to Devon about their situation, and clearly he's older than her. Clearly his species probably has a longer lifespan than maybe us. I like that exchange he had where he was telling her about, you know, tyranny always fails. That's the exact word, you know. Because when he was talking to her, I all I could hear was people like Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, or, you know, things we're going through today where people see what's going on and think, well, is this the way it's going to be from now on? You know, poll numbers drop, tyranny falls apart. Nemec from Andor said, you know, it's brittle, it's fragile, it has to
leaks, it cracks. Yeah,
it cracks. And I think Docky was very, very, you know, I know you have a thing about Jedi, but I think he, as a Jedi, he was very wise in trying to tell this younger, frustrated Padawan of his. Sometimes you have to ride it out. Sometimes you have to outlast the other guy.
Patience. And that's, you know, the Jedi always preach that. I think that he is a great mentor. I really do. And I'm half kidding around about, you know, them, you know, picking and choosing when they use the Force. It's part of it's part of who they are. I get that, you know, and if anything, he used it to help save her life. You know, he's trying to get her out of that situation. He's trying to save her neck before his own. He sacrificed himself at least 35 times, you know, just in these 2 episodes for her. You know, he's doing everything that a good leader and a good mentor is supposed to be doing.
And look what he did, you know, when Marrok shows up at Lawson's place, the first thing he told, you know, protect them, get them out of here. I honestly, we're all sort of waiting for this moment when either Docky dies or Devon, you know, falls to the dark side. Yeah, Docky's having like several like life, you know, seeing the white light at the end of the tunnel, you know, like, oh my God, this is where he dies. I really like, I feel like we know we're getting a season 2 of this show.
Oh,
And there's a part of me that is like, I'm just starting when once you get over the initial, you came to my house and drew the Empire here. I'm like, okay, Lawson, Docky, and Devon with Riley. I'm like, that's the makings of a decent crew. We could kind of explore these 4 together, with one of them being a little conflicted about Maul for quite a while. And that way, the way they work together, even when they split up, the youngins got sent up the elevator, and the others who stayed behind. I was like, okay, it very much reminded me of the early season of Rebels, where it's like this has the dynamics of a good crew in the making.
Mm-hmm. And Riley's going to fall in love with Devon. I mean, that's just a given. It's like, as they were going on, it's like, are they Jedi? Oh, golly, you sure are pretty. Like, he didn't say any of that, but I feel like that's going to happen. He was like nervously cleaning up his room when
I'm sure this is his first gunfight. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that this is his first gunfight. 100% certain it's his first lightsaber battle that he's ever seen. I mean, and let's think about that from the perspective of just the average person in the galaxy. For years, we've seen the battle between light and dark. We've seen lightsaber duels and big ship battles and planets blowing up. But there's the guys. There's the guys selling the fruit on the corner. There's the kids that are just trying to score the next point in their hockey game. And it's just like, these are normal people living normal, relatable lives, and all of a sudden, everything around you is exploding. There's people with laser swords in your living room. Like, your mom is working for this fascist dictatorship that interrogated your dad. It's like, what? And I'm loving all of this. I'm loving all of this. And we got to see some of it in Andor, but we so very frequently get to see, the reality at the ground level of Star Wars. And to see Riley going through this, like, I was like, all right, my guy. Hopefully he gets a smooch out of it or something.
You brought up the mom, and
I wanted to transition into that a little bit.
Her mom's name's Drea Lawson, or Gennaro, as I'm calling her. I thought the interesting thing about her in the scene we see her, and I feel like we're going to see more of her later on, is that Riley calls her because Dad's been arrested. Yeah, Dad's interrogated. We've already seen the police chief is probably dead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about that. What are your thoughts?
And I love the fact that without batting an eyelash or missing it, how conditioned the mom is already. She's just looking right at Riley. It's like, oh well, what did she say? Just
comply. If they just do what they tell you to do.
Well, and her first was, what did he do now? She already put the blame on him, and to just do whatever the Empire tells you right there. It's like, okay, Mama Gennaro's off the reservation. Yeah.
She's in it. So I mean, she is a cog in the machine for sure. So
you call her Gennaro, Chopper would call her score point.
Yeah, she would be able to
tally mark.
I think her jumping and being like, what did he do now? I didn't read that as her being like super loyal to the Empire. I just saw it as like, okay, another confirmation Lawson is an F-boy. Like,
He seems like the kind of person that has like seen enough of what's going on inside to be fearful enough of it to be like, just do what they say and you'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, that part was definitely scripted. That was like forced, but I feel like her first reaction was just like, now what? Like, what did he do now? Like,
I'm here for you, Lawson. The wife's wrong. I think he might honestly, because of his job, that we've compared him to Jim Gordon. How in various versions of Batman, Jim Gordon's wife leaves.
I wish Jim Gordon had that buttery voice.
Yeah, Lawson.
We're finding out a lot about all of us tonight.
Lawson's a baddie too. Like, every chance he gets, and I don't know, you know what? And
the hair thing.
Every chance he's like, oh, it's so very difficult to be me. Oh, it's like every chance he gets. I was like, we get it, my guy. You have thick, luscious, gorgeous hair, and you're so frustrated. It's like, oh, it's so difficult. There's so much going on right now in my life. Oh, I can't take it. It's like, come on, dude. Come on. And then
Oh,
we've got
it's-
Officer Ken, who's just standing around. He's not doing anything anymore.
Speaking of Ken,
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I want to know what's everyone's thoughts on the whereabouts of the chief. Has she been sauced? Do we think that she's like, because he said that she's been reassigned permanently?
Did you see those scratch
Is that
marks on
it?
the table?
Yeah. I think with the
He was,
wording
he was
that,
pulled out of there dragged.
yeah.
Like was that her fingernail scratches on
Yeah.
the table, or was that the Inquisitors? Like, I mean, did something? Because I like when he reached on Lawson's shoulders, it was a very Bram Stoker's Dracula moment. He was like, it's like so creepy. Like I felt the chill.
It was giving me the vibes of in Andor, you know, they put that headset on people and it made that noise that made them like freak out, and because it was so painful to hear. It gave me those kind of vibes, like they might have like tortured her because obviously she wasn't being cooperative, as they put it. So
that's a wrap on her.
I feel like because of the wording and what they show, there is a strong implication that she's dead. But with it being the Clone Wars animation, it feels like there's still that possibility where, you know, maybe in a later season she'll show up again, being like, "Yeah, they gave me the boot, and then like they put me in some."
She's on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, so
you know, or it turns out she's one of the Inquisitors. She was just sent there to like, you know, keep everything. Like, who knows? No one ever dies in Dave Filoni's universe. Like it's always. I don't care. Like even if
there are a number of clones who would disagree with you. We have an entire wall of them.
You're right. Yeah, and. Thalia, Dylan, we as we were going through the Clone Wars watching, we had our Hall of Remembrance, because the clone troopers, they just, starting with season 1, they just went out in the most horrible, awful ways. So the ones that went out in the worst ways, we always recognize them. I mean, because, you know, obviously clones get shot, they get blown up on ships, but you know, every now and then one of them's getting eaten by a rock lizard, or they're being crushed by something, or a Sith gets a hold of them, and then that's a wrap. So, you know, RIP to the clone troopers, tip of the hat to those guys, because they did stay dead in the Filoniverse, but they'll live on through their brothers.
Yeah.
Forever and ever, quite literally.
And then you get the ones that go down just so gloriously, and probably it's like I don't know the name of one of them in particular. He had red armor and he was on this I think he was guarding Padme, and they started dropping troops, and he was like the last one standing with a
Commander
big Gatling gun. And then there is Heavy, where he gets shot a bunch of times, and then the robots are like, do we take prisoners? And he's like, I don't.
Heavy is the
like,
dude.
oh my
and then there's I can't remember his actual name now, but because we started calling him Captain Cutie. Oh God, what was it? It's close to Cutie. That's why we started calling him Captain Cutie. But he's another one. He went out, him and his Jedi, they were on a planet surrounded, and they just kept taking hits. And they were standing like
Keel. Wasn't it Captain Keel?
Keel, something like that. And it's like,
I think it is Captain Keel. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and then we started calling him Captain Cutie, because I mean, he had a nice little haircut and everything. He was kind of cute, kind of doing it. But him and his Jedi went out like bosses. They were heroes for sure. I want to watch the Clone Wars again, just because it's just so good. Anyway. So Empire's on the scene. Maul is seemingly unfazed by this. So I'm curious to what you all think about this. Is this a setback? Did the Empire's arrival, you know, are they a setback? Is this like something that, you know, kind of puts him off balance now? Was this completely 100% expected? And are they just a minor inconvenience for him at this point? He was visibly a little irritated by the Inquisitor's presence, but for the Empire, it's like, he's like, okay, so, you know, the Empire is bringing the control. Marrok is bringing the fear. Maul is trying to bring this understanding to Devon. But right now it still seems like Maul is still the most dangerous person in the room. Because it's like it's not even that he's doesn't have fear. It's almost as if he just feels completely unbothered by these things. I feel like that's maybe even more dangerous. Like who's the most dangerous person? The one who has no fear, or the one who is just completely unbothered because they know that nothing bad is going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So
Maul very much in this,
what are your thoughts?
this series and at this particular point in time is giving Palpatine vibes. It's I know what's happening on both sides, and I might not necessarily be controlling every aspect of it, but I know what's going to happen, and I know how best to take advantage of it for my agenda. He learned from his master well.
He did.
While we're on this, though, I do want to touch on something. Marrok. To me, I feel like it's a bad idea that they introduced him in this series because he has plot armor. I'm curious if anybody else feels the same way.
Well, I mean, so does Maul does too.
Maul does, but it creates there's presumably an aspect of, okay, well, in order for him to win, he has to take out the Inquisitor. But knowing that the Inquisitor survives this show, then how does that work?
Well, he has to get away. He has to get away from the Inquisitor. So
he can evade. That's
so. As I recall from the Ahsoka series, when Ahsoka fought Marrok and she cut him down.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, probably yeah.
I mean, it's
been out for a year. Okay,
I know it's
okay.
I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show. By the way, everyone, there will be spoilers. So we are not a spoiler-free show.
Sorry, I'll do my best.
No.
You're good.
So
masterfully cut him down too. By the way,
when she cuts him down, he turns into that like green smoke. And I'm pretty sure it showed the Night Sister lady using that same kind of power to reanimate those stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So I think what that's all implying is Marrok at some point dies before those events and he's resurrected. So there is still that element of like danger for his character where he can still be killed, and then that will lead into him being resurrected later. I mean,
that's a good point. That's
my understanding on it too.
Yeah. I want to counter Tony's thing a little bit. Can you call up that other slide I sent you?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so the top slide is obviously Marrok from this episode. We've seen him in Ahsoka. We've seen him lose to Ahsoka and the green smoke thing. To me, what makes him great, I don't think he has plot armor yet because he wasn't when we see him in Ahsoka, he's not a threat.
Yeah.
In this episode alone, this boy gave me the heebie-jeebies, like my man Rinsler from Tron Legacy.
Oh yeah,
who was a scary mofo. The assassin you call in, to clean up the damn, much like Marrok, and then you find out later that it's been Tron who's been corrupted by a clue. But so you got this ultimate fighter, who can compete with a guy like Maul in single combat. We see him tracking Devon and Riley like it's a horror film.
Yeah.
And we see him using the Force they have that forensic, Quinlan Voss and Cal Kestis in the Fallen Order games. They use the Force, and even Ahsoka, using the Force to kind of like retrace the crimes. He's a hunter. He's that's why he's the first brother is what. So for me, he gave a very. This is where this is the show where we're going to find out why Marrok was supposed to be scary in Ahsoka, and why the fact that she took him out so masterfully says so much about her skill.
But at the same time, we might be getting Ahsoka may have gotten the shell of him.
Well, he's a shell of what he formerly was. This is when he's at his peak. As what
not to disparage Ahsoka at all, because we know,
But, and for whatever reason, whatever reason, he's got the green smoke and that Night Sister magic like Savage Oprah. It's how dark magic enhances. If he's been enhanced later on for some reason, is it because Maul finally maybe Maul kills him in this show and somebody resurrected him for a reason?
Okay. All right. Thalia, you're shaking your head over there. You're like, yep, that's what's happening. That's what you're feeling on this.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is how I think this series is. We're gonna see how he actually dies. I don't know if he's gonna make it to season 2, but he is showing so far really good, really good. Although I have seen criticism that like somebody was like Daki should have been able to take him out more easily because at the end of the day, Marrok's an Inquisitor. Daki is a Jedi Master, but he's been in hiding for like how long? I mean, not that long, honestly. Like what, like a year?
A couple of years, maybe
a year. So, and don't forget, he's fighting with a cracked rib from Maul, so he's already he's got a
he's depleted.
It's true. It's true.
He's giving me some like internal bleeding vibes over there.
God, yeah.
It's like he's
coughing.
He's coughing, and when Devon was like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "No, but I'm not dead yet." So it's like it's like I don't know how much longer we're gonna have Uncle Daki. I like him.
Several times while watching the show, I was like, "Oh God, like this is it. This is where he's gonna die." Like scene after scene, I was like, "Oh God, here it comes, and it hasn't happened yet, which is making it worse because I'm growing more and more attached to his character, and I'm like, "Oh God, when it happens, I'm gonna be devastated."
And that's good writing. It's evil writing.
The Game of Thrones principle: don't fall in love with nobody.
It's the Game of Thrones. Like the only person that you're allowed to fall in love with right now is Maul because we know his story. We know how it wraps. And even if it didn't wrap, you'd still be in love with Maul. So it doesn't matter. So everyone's just be in love with Maul, and that's fine. But with everybody else, I mean, I don't know. I really hope that we get a Scooby-Doo ending. I don't think that's going to happen though, because we're going to need some kind of an emotional anchor to get us into season 2. And unfortunately, the way of things is in order for a Padawan to really, come into their own, their master genuinely has to die. It's like with the Sith, I mean, there can only be 2. The Jedi, there are many groups of 2, but it still is that similar dynamic. So it's like, you don't really become, your full potential until your master dies, because then now it's, all of the emotion and then the grief and then the learning. And then now you get it.
It's a butterfly.
Daki gonna die. Like, I don't want it to happen, but you're absolutely right. It's like they're just making us love him and he's more endearing every episode. He's sacrificing himself. He's just like, oh yeah, okay. And I love that they're calling him Uncle Daki, because he's not giving me big brother vibes or dad vibes. He's giving off like, the cool uncle, that maybe gives you your first beer, but then tells you not to drink and drive, or, it's just, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And it's unfortunate because good guys don't last long in Star Wars. Only 1 or 2. And then they're the ones that make it to the very end. So
Lawson might make it forever.
Oh, jeez.
Your first sad trombone. Welcome to the club.
Jeez. Yeah.
You guys, maybe the Empire broke up the marriage. Okay, I gotta say, there's a risk there. As I go farther and farther on this cliff, or this like ledge of just being like, Lawson's the biggest douchebag ever. There is a chance the Empire has completely ripped apart his marriage. There's a chance. Like
I was on board with you with that too, until Riley dropped that one word. He said supposedly.
And you think he's been hearing his mom chattering about him if she hated his work? He might be getting a biased take on what his dad does. I was surprised when Riley, the kid's old enough, managed to slip into a police station unnoticed. I feel like he's used to coming. Even when Two Boots we haven't talked about him at all, but when Two Boots was trying to like shoo him away, I got the feeling kind of recollection. My mom was a teacher before she retired. I used to be like able to slip into her school because I'd help out with stuff. The secretaries knew me, the janitors knew me. They'd be like, "Oh, hey Jeff, how you doing?" For him to walk into the police station like that unnoticed, I feel like he's been around these people his whole life.
Yeah. Well, he told Two Boots that. He's like, you've known me my whole life.
Yeah. And Two Boots, I feel like, we've talked about, is this where he finally starts to get his photoreceptors open? Like when
yeah, I was going to bring that up.
When Lieutenant Acme's like, those boots aren't standard issue, take them off. Like, that's his defining trait.
Lieutenant Acme is funny. Lieutenant Sunspot.
Yeah. But we do like up to that point, he still toes that procedural line throughout both episodes. He's just like he's oblivious, but then he was like, wait, you want to take my boots off? Wait, hold on, no, I don't think so. And we do get that kind of long shot on him, and he's just like, so now things are starting to compute. So maybe we might get like a big sacrificial hero moment from Two Boots, because like he said before, I think they've already done a little foreshadowing. It's like he's like, I don't do this, I'm just here for the moment. So maybe he will be there in the moment, in that clutch point, and he's gonna sacrifice it all for the win.
That's a bold prediction, and actually I like it a lot. That's a good one.
All right.
Before we get too wrapped up,
speaking of predictions, yes. Go ahead.
Our friend Star Wars High Ground Dates had a good one. We call him Officer Ken. His real name is Officer Reb, and he's played by a guy named Sam Corlett. Apparently today is his 30th birthday, so
yes, he's a handsome
happy birthday, Officer Ken. Yeah,
I saw High Ground's picture. He's quite the handsome gentleman as well. He's got the nice Hollywood features, and he's wasted on voice work. He's doing a great job.
Your picture, hang on.
He's wasted on. He needs to be like Poe's cousin or something. Like you need to get the two.
I gotta check this guy out. Okay.
I don't think you'll be disappointed. He's a pretty handsome fella. Like he doesn't look like a voice actor. Like I look like a voice actor. Like but he's like a handsome fella.
Yeah.
So okay. So speaking of predictions, since we're going to be wrapping up here shortly, let's do predictions for next week. Dylan, what are you thinking next week?
Next week, are these the final 2 episodes?
Are we doing 8 or 10? I don't remember if we're doing 8.
Yeah,
it's 10, right?
Okay.
Our season's wrapping up, but we're gonna miss the last 2 episodes before we come back.
No.
Okay,
we're gonna keep going. Fuck that.
We're pushing through. We're pushing through. For
a prediction, I would assume that these next following episodes would be Maul's real push to win Devon over. Devon being a lot more resistant. I think if there's going to be that point where she decides to either join or resist Maul fully, it's going to be at the end on whether or not her master makes it. I'm not going to make any predictions to the very end of that, but for these next coming episodes, I'm assuming this is where Maul's going to really try and influence Devon and really hit home some of his logic and wisdom he's learned over the years that is going to make a lot of sense to her in this new era and this new time she finds herself in. So aside from that, I think anything's up in the air, really.
All right. Thalia, predictions for next week.
I think it's interesting. They made it a point to show Vario is lingering.
Mm-hmm.
So he might get involved in something a little bit more than just like yapping in the background. I don't know what.
Do you think he'll make it? Do you think that he'll survive the series?
Well, first of all, once again, Maul is so hot, right? Because he's a man of integrity. He was like, he said in the beginning, I will let you go if you get me XYZ. Vario delivered. And then Maul was like, go ahead, walk out. And I was like, hot.
You take a chance. He said you can stay here, you can take a chance at the Empire, but you're free to go.
Free to go, yeah. So
I like a villain who keeps his word. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. I think he's just it's weird to keep him around. I think he might show up a little bit later. I think the tension with Rook and Devon is going to get significantly worse.
Mm-hmm.
Although Rook I think Rook is like, okay, Maul is so hot and he's my leader. I think I'm going to like listen to him. I think it might be like Maul's aura and ego that like keeps her in line. I don't see her totally backstabbing him. I think she's going to stay where she needs to stay, but it's gonna be tough for her.
All right.
I think we're gonna see it get really tough, but she's just gonna be like, look at her boss and be like, things aren't so bad. We're okay.
So is she on board for the vision? Is she on board because she's getting something out of this, or is she on board purely because of the hotness, or is it a combination?
I would hate to diminish her character just to I think she's smart. She's ambitious, right? She
Mhm.
doesn't just think it's because he's hot. I think that's a really, really nice bonus. So it'll be a mix of three. Like, we love women in STEM, we love women in leadership, and she just happens to have a really, really hot boss too. So love that for her.
All right. So that's another very very interesting take, because I love Rook as a character. I wish we would get more of her. I think there is more to her. I think that she is potentially a very complicated character. Most Mandalorians are. So yeah, I'm hoping we see more. I don't know. I don't know what.
Oh, I have one very last thing.
Mhm.
Daki is a Leo. I came to that conclusion. So Leo gang, he's got a lot of Leo, which is so cool. We don't see too many Jedi exude such a good confidence and such a strong. It's confidence without arrogance. It's cool. He's a Leo.
Okay. Now on your channel, are you going to be doing a breakdown or anything to explain who who's who, in terms of their astrological sign, and then break that down? Is that something that we can look forward to seeing on your channel?
Yes, I did it a little bit for Lawson. And then I also said, I gave a little bit of insight into Riley and said, because of Lawson, Riley's going to need therapy. That's another bold prediction. Riley's going to need major therapy.
If he
I don't know
survives.
if we're going to see it. Oh,
If he
he
survives.
survives. Okay.
There's the I know.
Well, yes, I will be doing breakdowns of characters. I'm waiting to just have them develop a little bit before I jump in and I'm like, these are who they are.
So maybe when the season wraps,
yeah,
maybe because I'm curious, because I don't know. I know next to nothing about astrology. So I mean, I know the signs, but I don't know why Daki would be a Leo. So I'm really interested to see your breakdown of that.
I got you for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be good stuff. Crash.
Predictions for next week. I think Marrok realizes that he has too many plates spinning right now. He's hunting 2 Jedi. He's, Maul's on the table. I think we need another Inquisitor. I think we need some backup.
Another one? Now there are 2 of them? Wait, what?
This is getting out of hand.
We've seen that before. Spoiler alert, we saw that in Rebels. They work in pairs sometimes.
Sure. And in Kenobi, I mean, there was,
So and some of the promo posters kind of give it away who the next. I'm cheating a little bit, and they've already shown us a second Inquisitor. So I think this is the point where we're hunting 2 things now. We're hunting Maul and we're hunting Jedi, and I don't know if Marrok wants to divide his task like that. So that's just a lot of black leather on the screen all at the same time. It is, and it's been interesting because this is turning into a battle royale of Jedi and Inquisitors and players to be named later. My other prediction is I think we're going to see Lawson using his underworld experience to try to get out of town. I think he's going to try to help Riley. I see a potential crew here.
All right, and he, I want to know more about this guy too, because he did hint that before he was a cop, he knew Saul before he was a cop, and she was a bounty hunter. So he didn't come out and say it, but was he a bounty hunter potentially? Because as they were running from the stormtroopers, he was getting off some fucking amazing kill shots. I mean, with a pistol, a little holdout blaster, this dude was on the run and he was saucing these guys left and right, effortlessly.
He shot one in the LAAT, the
Lardy, yeah.
He shot the pilot through the windshield.
Through the windshield. I'm like, come on. He was nailing shots to the point where I was like, does this guy have the force? Is he who are you, dude? Like, but it's always been speculated that people that are really good at things, like Han Solo, it's speculated that Han Solo does tap into the Force to fly because he was always such a good pilot. And anyone who excels at anything in the Star Wars universe, it's thought that they're, unintentionally, unknowingly tapping into the Force in some way. So Lawson, man, that dude was, I mean, Han Solo has been said to be like the best shot in the galaxy, but Lawson was taking him out. I was like, on the run. Anyway, so I want to know more about him for sure. Like, was he a bounty hunter? Like, what kind of stuff did this guy get into? And was he involved with Saul romantically before he got married? And did that just carry over? Did he honor his marital vows, but he still stayed in contact with her? And then there's so much like soap opera happening right now, and it's we've never really seen this in Star Wars before. So I'm glad it's happening. Tony, predictions for next week.
So first off, I gotta say I was wrong on one of my predictions for this week's episodes, because I was talking about the mother and thinking that she was full-blown fascist, and it turns out she might actually be worse. She might just be straight up red-pilled. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And
who was she looking back at? While she was talking to Riley.
Right. Well, she's probably in the office. I mean, you know.
My concern with that is I see a lot of parallels to real life. We see some people that have been red pilled that are starting to come out of it now. Is it starting to affect them? Yeah. And I think now she might be getting a taste of that for herself, because now it's her son that's involved. And yeah. I would hope that, perhaps the fact that she was Empire and that it was her kid might mean some protection for him. Now, I don't think that's the case anymore. And as much as like it's Star Wars, it's animated, they don't often go there, but my percentage chance that this kid survives this has gone way down. And I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. And historically, Star Wars doesn't like children. So, I mean, it's for kids. We know that. But, I mean, a lot of kids have died in Star Wars. So, I mean, like every time we see a city get obliterated, there were kids there. Mm-hmm. So it's like every time a planet gets blown up multiple times, there were kids living there. So it's like they don't shy away from that, especially, we know little Annie.
Not too many of them. What are we going to do?
It's like, oh God.
Little did we know they were talking about children the whole time with that line.
Unredeemable. Anakin should never have gotten a redemption arc. That will be my eternal hot take forever. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you throw down the reactor shaft. It does not make up for slaughtering little babies. Cute little babies, little trading lightsabers. What are they going to do? Nothing. They got nothing. All right. So next week, keep your eyes open for more hard choices. I think we're going to be seeing some more pivots. I think we're going to definitely be seeing Devon having to make some more hard choices. Like, is she in survival mode, or is she looking to change up her lifestyle? Did she get hypnotized by the whoop from Maul? So I don't know. And I am concerned about Mama. She wasn't wearing any kind of rank badge, so she's not high up there. So she's pretty much probably a low level functionary at some point, but I think she could also see which way the wind was blowing, and the Empire was offering jobs. Janix is cool, but maybe she wanted something better for herself and her son, and potentially maybe even salvage the relationship if, she can, pull Lawson out of his job, because he's very committed to that. And
come out to Coruscant. We'll have a few laughs.
Yeah. I love that. I love that parallel between Die Hard and their relationship. That's so cool. I hope they throw in a few little Easter eggs. There needs to be like a Nakatomi Tower,
an Imperial Christmas party,
Imperial Christmas party, a Life Day party, a Life Day celebration somewhere. All right, so So that's gonna be the homework for next week, of course. Episode 7 and 8. Keep an eye on Devon and see what she's doing, and take a look at everyone's choices. Because up to this point, people have been able to, hesitate a little bit here and there, and kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. Hesitation is no longer free. Like, hesitation at this point is going to get you killed. So, I mean, it's like now people are going to have to commit. So I'm really curious to see who's going to commit to what. And I think we're in for some surprises. I really do. And I'm hoping that Mama Lawson is not in distress. I hope that she's not put in a position where her loyalty is put into question, which then puts even more strain on. Hopefully she's a low enough level that she's off the radar, but then is anybody really off the Empire's radar, especially if you're working for them? So that's something to keep an eye on. So before we head out, Dylan and Thalia, let everyone know. Dylan, what's going on? Where can they find you? You are a filmmaker doing stuff. Let them know about you. What's going on?
I have a YouTube channel. It's right there on the bottom corner there, Blurry Films. I've been doing YouTube videos for over 7 years, mostly just talking about my love of Star Wars, debunking nonsense that I find that's like I think is bad faith arguments about the newer content that's been made. But over this past year, I've been focusing more on my art, which is my fan film projects. I've got several dozen of them in the works already, from more unique stories to stories for the sequel era and all around. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. And of course, when the time comes that you need a Mandalorian for anything,
oh my God, that is a beautiful helmet.
I got you covered. So, if you need a smart ass, bitter Mandalorian, you let me know. And I got you, brother. I got you. Thalia, tell the people about you. Where are you at? What you doing? What's your thing?
Of course. So, Astrology Jedi on TikTok and Instagram and Threads. I talk about Star Wars through the lens of astrology. So whether you know a lot about astrology or not, I just talk about it because that's how I understand astrology. So as this show develops, I'll get more into these specific characters and where I think they fall astrologically. But there's a ton of characters we already know and love in Star Wars that I've talked about. I've already ripped on Lawson pretty hard for being a Libra. We're going to see if it's true. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I talk about. So even if you're a beginner in astrology or more advanced, it's still all Star Wars at the end of the day. And it's still just focusing on character development and character behavior and tying it to astrology. So if you're interested, TikTok, Instagram, Astrology Jedi. Yeah, that's it.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see your takes, and I'm interested to see who the different characters, like which astrological sign they align with, because I don't know anything about it. I'm a Capricorn, so I don't know who else is a Capricorn. I'd be curious to know who that is, and if that aligns with my personality. Oh yeah, okay, that guy is a jerk, so I guess he would be a Capricorn too. So yeah, there's some very interesting folks that I would be very curious about. I want to know about Dave, and which this would be easy to find because they're actual human beings, but Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I'm curious what their signs are. So.
I know Dave is a Gemini. I'm pretty sure he's a Gemini sun, but I think I gotta look up Favreau. Okay. I also try not to look up real actors, real people, because I don't want to Dave and John aren't in the show, but people have said to me oh, Hayden Christensen is a Aries sun, and allegedly he might have some Scorpio placements, and I'm don't tell me, don't tell me, Anakin only, no blind, just blinders.
Oh, that's why it's called acting for a reason. You can.
Yeah.
But I think it's such an interesting take though too. It's because you're doing it for characters. And I get that. I get that I do think that's an important distinction. Because we can just go on Wikipedia and see what year they were born and so you would know. But trying to align characters with their astrological signs. That's very interesting. I like that a lot. So
Thank you.
looking forward to that. So that's going to do it for us. Tony, Crash, you guys got anything on the way out? We've got Safe Space After Dark coming up, which is going to be our exclusive Patreon content. Yes.
Right.
And what is it that we're going to be talking about?
Well, I did a thing over the holidays. Andor was getting all the recognition, award nominations, that kind of thing. And the big thing was I was looking at why Andor did so well. And a lot of it has to do with budgets and screen time, and compared to some of the other Disney Plus streaming shows. I found some interesting stuff. We'll go over that, and I want to get your take on what I found out.
Wait, that's what we're talking. That sounds. Last week we were talking mad shit about all kinds of different things, and we're going to be talking about like box office numbers and budgets now.
No, it's just, well,
I don't have a yawn button here, so
it's not just the budgets, but like screen time, storytelling time. The Disney Plus shows. I don't want to get a short version.
Yeah,
they're basically shot like full length feature movies, or in like Andor's case, they're 16 hours between their 2 seasons is double the sequel trilogy combined. So you had so much more time to develop each character and all these different plot lines that everybody thought was so unique and peak Star Wars. Well, it better be peak if you got 16 hours and the Lucasfilm piggy bank at your disposal.
Sure, of course.
That's
I guess that's spicy, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought what your take on that is. We'll get into that later on.
Join us for our exciting budget conversation. Coming up next on Star Wars Safe Space After Dark, we're going to discuss all the budgetary requirements of shooting film versus shooting TV. We'll spice it up. I have faith in you. I'm going to trust in the process, Crash.
Okay.
I'm going to trust in the process. I trust you. All right. So that is going to do it, Star Warriors, for this week. Thank you, of course, for hanging out with us. We know you can hang out with anyone else at any other time. You chose to be here with us tonight, and we do appreciate that. Of course, as always, tip of the hat to our active duty service members and veterans for doing what they do. Thank you so very much. Of course, if you want to get more involved with what we're doing, you can head on over to our website, circleofnerds.com /merch, and pick up a cool little t-shirt or something if you'd like. We do have some forbidden t-shirts that I'm working on getting put up on our Patreon site. So our other print on demand service said, nope, you can't put those up. So we now have forbidden merch, which I got to find a home for because it's dope. I mean, it's the Obi fans shirt. That is like the coolest thing ever. So, but now we need one. We need like a Maul fans but it just doesn't flow as well as like Obi fans. It's like, it just works. Or Poe fans. Maybe I need to do a Poe fans one. Anyway. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. And the discussion we're gonna have later on tonight, that's gonna end up on our Patreon. So that's gonna be patreon.com/Circle of Nerds. I don't have a cool little widget to put up on the screen just yet, but I will get one someday. And so that's gonna be it. And of course, next week we are gonna be back, same bat time, same bat channel, right here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us next week. And that's it. We're done. Anyone have anything else before we go? All right, so we are gone. We are out of here. That is going to do us. And signing off a little bit different this week with a reminder to resist, rebel, and rebuild. There's always hope. Don't forget. And we'll see you next week. Bye.